beautiful muses. Welcome to CosmoMuse Tarot. Today I have a reading for you that is about what is like a main feature of what your soul is here to do in this lifetime. I definitely believe, just like, when you go to, I believe Earth is some sort of school, and just like we go to school and we have a lot of subjects, I do believe that like we sign up for, several things in our soul's curriculum. But I wanted to look at what is like one of the main star classes, star features of what our soul is here to learn. And then beyond that, sort of where are we within that? How are we evolving on that path, on that assignment or course that we're here to take? And some advice from Spirit of what we can be doing to, be getting A's or doing better at it nonetheless. So yeah, we've got 4 piles for you today to choose from. Pile 1, we have an opal palm stone, Opalite. Pile 2 is Aragonite. Pile 3, we have Howlite. Pile 4, orange Chalcedony. And yeah, so for those of you that have your own process for picking piles or stones or whatever you use, you can pause here and do that. If you like the breath work I lead and find that helpful in tapping into your intuition and inspiration to help pick your piles, we'll jump into that now. So place your feet firmly on the ground. Feel that stability and solidity holding you underfoot. And now take a deep breath into that, sort of grounding into your body, into that stability you're feeling underfoot. And hold that. Exhale. And now take another deep breath in, and this time suck the air up, up, up into the space between the brows. Hold. Suck in a little extra to add pressure there. And then out loud, exhale. All right, so now look over these 4 piles and feel into which one has sort of a magnetic draw to you for your most aligned message. All right, I will see you guys in your readings. Hello, pile 1. Welcome to your reading, all about looking into one of the main things your soul is here to be learning, and looking into currently how you are evolving through that, what's going on at this moment with that, and then getting a little bit advice of like how to better attend to this sort of course of evolving our soul. Okay, so you guys picked this beautiful Opalite and the card underneath, which we're just going to leave here for just a second while we look at some astro dice to get like hone in on some energies, areas of life, of what this soul kind of lesson is that you're here for, that is wanting to speak to you today. Kind of a really main one too. Okay. Ooh, beautiful. Okay, so the soul purpose that's wanting to speak up for you today, that you're here to do some work on and learn through, has to do with, let's see, actually I'm going to reorient these, has to do with the area of home and family and foundations and roots and ancestry and mothering. Whatever connects to you there that you feel is kind of prominent and pressing at the moment. there's something that your soul is evolving through that area of your life, and it's wanting you to really, so we've got also Taurus and Venus here, which Venus rules Taurus, so this is a pretty distilled reading, or like pretty succinct thing going on here. It's like you're supposed to be, your soul is really working to find beauty and pleasure and value through your roots, through your, how you find stability and foundation in life, how you create family, home life, private life, whatever it is to you, but also how you in general connect to your own soul and connect to your intuition. There's something here that your soul is really working hard to sort of trust intuition around cultivating really beautiful foundations in life that feel comfortable, that feel pleasurable, that feel beautiful to you. Okay, so now that we know kind of what, which course is speaking up that your soul decided to take on in this lifetime, let's look at what's going on right now with it, how you're evolving through this at this moment. So death. So there could be a lot of transformation going on in this area of your life, and this thing that is, on some level you understand as being very important to this lifetime of yours. You may be uprooted right now, kind of not exactly knowing what family means to you or where you're wanting to live. Something's kind of uprooting around one of those things, or around the idea of being a mother in some way. Something is going through a major transformation right now. So it may feel like things are being torn apart in that area of your life, but what's really happening is like going down into the underworld here to find where there are stuck, hidden, corrupted things that are blocking flow of life. And so it's sort of like trust the process here. You're going through something that is actually going to really regenerate and resurrect and restore something about finding beauty and love and harmony and comfort and pleasure on the foundational level. So it may feel hard right now, but the work you're doing right now, and the more you dig in, the more you uproot, the more you are going to be able to rebuild here and connect to some life force flowing here. So even, going, if you have the resources to going to a counselor or a therapist to really talk through issues about either family or home or creating security in life, could really help you to uproot and do some deep digging, deep psychological work to really unblock certain things here. Okay, let's get some more insights. Oh, 2 came out. 2 new moons, a Libra new moon and a Virgo new moon. This is a thing of like, hang in there. I think you are dealing with some complexity right now in terms of finding harmony. There could be something to do with relationships that's affecting this, as well as work that is affecting how you're feeling secure or feeling like home or family feel solid to you. There's some pressures you're holding in relationships and in work that may feel a little exhaustive to you. And this is sort of like this: be patient, persevere, because at the same time, you are seeding something at this moment, and it may take, you know, a year or two for that to sprout, for that seed to come up. I'm actually going to get timing. Let's look at months. I do feel like months here instead of years. Yeah, about 8 months. I did feel close to a year, so that makes sense to me. Be patient. In about 8 months, I think some pressure around relationships and around work as relates to your sense of home, family, foundation, security, something around there, is going to ease up, and some sort of new seed that you've really been kind of wishing for and on a really deep internal level tending to and hoping for is going to start to find some footing, find some roots in your life and start to sprout some baby sprouts. And you're going to see how all the work you're doing right now and the pressure you've been holding and some responsibility and stepping up to the plate and holding what's being asked of you is really like coming, you know, it's built some character, it's built some strength, and it's leading to good places. So the feeling I'm getting here is like, stick in there, persevere, follow through, keep digging, keep doing that deep work, as well as holding the outer world kind of pressures you're feeling. You will get over that kind of sense of maybe exhaustion I feel around you with this. Yeah, okay, let's get one more piece of insight. Honesty. It says, I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. Yeah, and this is where I think it would be really good to find like a counselor, someone you can talk to in a really kind of objectively honest way, because this fourth house place can be kind of an emotional one that confounds us a little bit. It's sort of like you have to sense it and feel it intuitively. It's hard to really see with the rational mind. So someone you can talk to that can give you sort of tools, things to think about, help you to dig up and witness things that have created blocks here, I really think, and where you can just be really honest about things from your past, things that you need to witness, things that you may even have a hard time being honest with yourself about. I think there's something about that you're really getting into the down into the plumbing of here to see where the blocks and leaks are. But it's requiring you to be honest with yourself, honest with someone you can talk to really objectively. And I'm feeling that because of these new moons, I don't, of course you want to be honest with family and these people that are involved in relational and foundational settings. But new moons are kind of detached places, and that's why I'm feeling like it might be more beneficial for you to be doing some uprooting and some deep psychological work, more with like a counselor or someone that's a really good listener that can just reflect things back to you, versus really digging into that with the people in your, family, roots, relationships. It can be really hard to be vulnerable there when you're digging into things you yourself don't totally understand about your patterns. Yeah, so find, and if you don't have access to, a counselor or a therapist, find that friend that's a really good listener, that's non-judgmental, that can mirror some things back to you and not put their own stuff on it, and just witness and listen and be a sounding board for some things coming up for you, especially as relates to, relationships and work, and how that's feeling really pressurized right now around finding your footing in life, finding that depth and stability and sense of home and family that you're really wanting beauty and comfort and pleasure with. Okay, let's do some tarot cards to get some final advice on this for you guys. And I know this, I hope this isn't TMI, but it feels relevant here. Immediately when I started your reading, it's like I got this deep congestion in like the back of my throat, sort of where your nose and throat connect, and I couldn't, it was so uncomfortable to me, and I was trying to just kind of like suck it down to clear it, and I couldn't. It was just like stuck there, and then suddenly it just like unlodged, and it was really, this is total TMA, I'm sorry, it was really gross. I really haven't had like that kind of a congestion release down my throat like that for a long time. It was very weird. But that came at, just after I finished saying, like, find that sounding board that you can be really honest and vulnerable with, that is just like there to be a sounding board and not to like get into it with you. It's gonna clear something. Just being able to be witnessed, kind of, expressing some honesty, something honestly that's maybe painful, maybe that you're uprooting. Find that sounding board. It's going to help you clear some blockages. Okay, let's look at some tarot. High Priestess. Yes, beautiful. Six of Swords, beautiful. Seven of Crystals. Three of Wands. Yeah, your new start is coming, like a new, I don't know if I should say a new start, but what you're incubating right now, a wish, an intention you're hoping for, under the pressure you're holding right now, it's activating what you're wishing for, and it is going to come in if you can persevere, step up to the plate for what is being asked of you at the moment, to shoulder, especially in terms of relationships and work. Continue. So this is all about advice from Spirit. Continue to trust your intuition, your inner knowings. They are accurate. Keep following those. They are taking you away from kind of rocky shores to better, calmer, more peaceful places. So stay on that. And as you persevere and as that kind of new sprouting starts to come up, you're going to have a lot of options. You're going to have a lot of things to choose from that will all feel really beautiful. And at that point, the problem isn't going to be about wishing for something new. It's going to be about weeding out that you can't have all of the new beautiful things coming in, and you need to kind of like focus in and pick one or two things here. But a lot of beautiful options. I think you are nurturing more than one seed right now around, like pleasure, beauty, comfort at home, through stability with family, whatever that is. And the seeds you're nurturing, the intentions you're nurturing are all very fruitful, but you're not, once you see some evidence of them sprouting, you're not going to be able to tend to them all, and you're going to have to hone in and pick one or two things, and it's like trust your intuition. But yeah, your ship is coming in. Give it 8 months, whenever you see this 8 months from now, if you can really persevere, really do some deep digging, really hold some pressures on your shoulders. It's just like activation of new intentions are really going to come in for you and feel really beautiful and luscious, and some gorgeous work here. Okay, so to end this, let's get a goddess message for you guys, just something that the goddess realm wants to bring to you. And we've got Coventina, purification, and that's absolutely what I feel like is going on right now. You are uprooting deep things, deep programming, going through some transformation, transmutation, really purifying things way down in your depths. You may even physically feel some detox elements. You may want to do a little bit of I'm not a big fan of like really harsh detoxes, but you may want to look into some kind of detox that you can do that's gentle. Put yourself around some water. Yeah, there's purification happening, so just trust that, and that it is really leading to much more peaceful, beautiful shores and openings and manifestations that are coming in around, comfort and beauty and pleasure in your foundations. All right, this is where I'm going to leave you, Pile 1. I hope this resonated. If so, I always appreciate the things like, share, subscribe. I'm always grateful for kind and thoughtful comments. And I wish you a beautiful day wherever and whenever you are. All right, see you guys. Hello, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading, where we're going to look at one of the main lessons your soul has come in this lifetime to work through and learn. And we're going to get kind of a snapshot of like what currently is going on around that, and then some advice about how to handle how things are evolving with that soul lesson. Okay, so this is the Aragonite and the card you chose, which we will get to shortly, but first I am going to roll some astro dice to get sort of the category and energies in life that this lesson, this soul mission lesson course revolves around. Wow, Pile 1 was a 4th house too, so, and moon. Okay. So you've got 4th house, moon, and Virgo. So there's definitely like some emotional things for you that your soul has decided it wants to really work on how to respond versus react when it comes to family, when it comes to using your intuition, when it comes to home matters, and really figuring out a way to kind of cut through that emotion, really move life through you and respond to life in an intuitive, beautiful, nourishing, nurturing way, but in a way that also creates a lot of rhythm and organization and productivity when it comes to roots and security and foundations and family. But yeah, there's definitely kind of like an emotional overlay in an already emotional category of life. So this soul lesson definitely has like some emotional quality to it, but that Virgo can be sometimes a little bit cool. So you may feel yourself sort of reacting and responding to things in a way that's a little bit critical or sharp or something. And so it's like finding a way to express your needs about needing sort of organization and productivity in a more, like finding ways to express that and get your needs met there. That are a little bit, more gentle and nourishing rather than like harsh or critical of things and people in your, family and home life. But I do see like the blessing of really working to establish this kind of energy as being able to bring a lot of purpose, bring a lot of productivity, bring a lot of systems and thriving and abundance into home and family. It's just like needing to find a way to do that that feels nourishing instead of like overly perfectionistic, that has a tenderness to it versus like overly critical. Yeah. Okay, so let's look at what is going on currently around this kind of soul lesson. So you've got the wilding. I love that. Yeah, you may feel like a little bit stifled. This is actually kind of funny to me in relation to what I've just said. I think you're actually in a mode right now of like screw it. I'm ready to just kind of like throw everything up in the air. I think things have gotten a little bit too stiff, a little bit too confined, a little too boxed in some way, and it's time to just sort of like rip the chains off, rip the perfectionism off. Let's shake things up. I think you're feeling a need to kind of free yourself from your own perfectionistic tendencies when it comes to home, family, nourishing, nurturing. Maybe a time when you're really needing to just like take care of yourself when it comes to home and family and like focus on you and kind of shake off other people being like dependent on you or codependencies that you may have, just like really getting into your energy and what you want and kind of, I don't know, I just feel this sense of like just needing to shake some old still energy out here, shake things up, see what happens, get into that moony wild woman place, even if you aren't a woman, that kind of deep, rich, dark, feminine energy that's a little bit wild and dark, not in a evil way, but in that nourishing, rich soils way. But with the swords, with the wilding, I just feel like it's time, like you need to cut some burdens away from you, shake some things off of your plate when it comes to home and family, and just let life move through you in a little bit of this just organic, I don't know, just wild way. Yeah, interesting. Okay, let's get a moon phase card to see a little more context here. Believe in the impossible with a blue moon. I always relate the blue moon, which is we technically have, we go through the lunar phases 13 times a year versus having 12 months. We have 13 lunar months. And the blue moon is that 13th one. So I relate that number 13, that 13th phase, to a frequency shift, to wild card energy. So I love that this came up in relation to the wilding. So I think that there's things shaking up in your foundations. There's, and I think this shaking up, shaking some things off is helping you to open up to frequency shifts, to walking through a new portal here, to entering new dimensions here, letting something different come into the picture. And the more you can just kind of shake off the old, shake things up, let things be a little bit more chaotic than you prefer with that Virgo stuff, the more you invite in like real actual change here. So I'm loving it. I love this that's come through. Okay, let's get another context here. Empathy. I am open to seeing both sides of a situation. Yeah, I mean, the moon showing up here, I definitely feel like you are a very empathetic person. I think you probably take other people's stuff on too much and maybe try to organize, keep everyone organized and feel this like duty and responsibility that anyone that's in your foundations, that's under your umbrella, that you have to take on all of their shit and organize it for them. And I think that this is a time when you need to shake that off a little bit, cut those cords and let people be a little bit more self-sufficient. I think you are incredibly self-sufficient and you need to step into this role. I'm feeling you stepping into a very different role, and this might be what the frequency shift is about. It may not be completely like you're moving home, you're just changing the frequency in your home. If that comes with a change of home, that could be too, but I do feel for all of you, it is a frequency shift within those foundational places, home, family, where it's time to be like, I can model to you how to get your shit together down in your foundations, how to make home life thrive and be very efficient, sufficient, productive, fruitful. I'm not going to take that on for you anymore, but I will model to you how to do that. I will teach you how to do that. I can mentor that for you, but I'm not going to do it for you. And I actually might push you a little bit. I feel like you're stepping into that. You're kind of shaking off like, you know what? I'm not doing your laundry and making your breakfast and making your school lunches and doing your dry clean, taking your stuff to the dry cleaning and cleaning the house and helping with homework and whatever it is. I'm just, my example. This person clearly has like a full family and is a little bit more of like a homemaker. This to me is like, I'm done doing everything for you. You guys need to learn how to be self-sufficient. You need to learn how to be an adult in this home. Because one day, I'll take the example of maybe you have kids. Like one day you are going to live by yourself, and so you need to know how to cook for yourself. You need to know how to do laundry. You need to know how to clean a bathroom. You need to know how to schedule your time at home. So if you have homework or stuff you've brought home from work, how to schedule that in, how to create some balance in your home life so that you're spending quality time with people in home while still attending to, things like health and, whatever, homework and, finding those rhythms that are needed. You need to figure out how to do this for yourself, and I can mentor you in this, but I'm done doing it for you. This is so funny. I'm just feeling someone's voice has totally entered me, and it's like, I'm done. I have empathy, but it's being taken advantage of. I'm doing too much for people, and you need to learn how to be adults in the home. I am willing to teach you and mentor you in that, but I'm not willing to do it for you. That's what I'm feeling. I love it, and I think that's a really, really beautiful, mature way of stepping into this moon energy of how to respond to things versus react. I don't feel a reactionary energy. I feel a reactionary in terms of shaking some stuff off, but I feel a response in terms of how you are portraying your message and asking for your needs to be met and asking, saying it like it is of what needs to be done here. And where your boundaries are. I think boundaries are very strong in this soul lesson. Okay, let's get some advice from Spirit now that we have an idea of like what is going on at the moment with this soul lesson. Just some extra advice from Spirit about this. We've got King of Crystals. You've really mastered some lessons here. 8 of Cups. The Lovers. One more. 4 of Wands. Ooh, I love it. It is absolutely possible that some of you are leaving some sort of home situation and moving to a different one. And I do think it is partially a reaction and partially a response to, needing things to be more self-sufficient, not taking on other people's stuff, finding a more mature adult behaviors in the home. So either if you're younger and you have roommates, you may be moving to a different place where you feel like there's better energy in that way. If you have a family, I think that this is something where you've really put the hammer down and some boundaries down and left like this kind of orientation in our home and how I feel like I'm being sort of taken advantage of in some ways is done. We're done. The hammer has been put down. This is no longer. And that boundary has been set and it is done. And so good for you either way. There is some real big lessons you've learned that you're stepping into. You yourself, you are a master at really knowing how to nourish your foundations through organization and ritual and rhythm and sacredness. You're masterful in this. And I think it's a very attractive quality about you. I think it's something that those who do or ever have lived with you find very attractive about you, admire about you. And there's something to be celebrated here. You're coming into, you're really leveling up on this soul curriculum. You're ready to go to the next level in something here. And so it's time to kind of celebrate. Like, I think you've made some hard decisions. You've shaken up some things when that can sometimes maybe be hard for you to do, and like really laid down some boundaries in a way that has been hard for you to do in the past. And you need to celebrate that and not look forward at like how much work you have to do here. You need to be in the moment and be present to where you are and celebrate a new level of maturity you've established and being able to respond to your needs and voice and put boundaries around your needs instead of kind of holding it in and then getting reactionary about it. Like, I think you've really leveled up in handling things in a much more adult, responsive versus reactive way, and celebrate that as time, Spirit saying like, sit in that. Really acknowledge that it's like you've graduated from one level of school here, and it's now time to step into a more adult school in this. And really celebrate it the way you would celebrate a big graduation, like it's a big deal. Okay, let's now look at, to end, a goddess message to leave you guys with. Guardian Artemis, you and your loved ones are safe and spiritually protected. And I think it's your energy, the nurturing and care and efficiency and rhythmic ability you have that you bring to your foundations attracts in a lot of guardianship and a lot of protection. And yeah, it's just a beautiful, I think, acknowledgement to hear that because of the work and energy you put into these things, it attracts in a lot of spiritual energies that want to help protect that and foster it. So gorgeous. And if you're in a situation right now that feels a little unpredictable or unstable, I think this is also coming in to say, like, you're protected, don't worry, you'll be guided in the right direction here. Okay, this is where I'm going to leave you guys. If this resonated, I always appreciate the things like, share, subscribe, and I'm always very grateful for kind and thoughtful comments, and I hope you have a beautiful day wherever and whenever you are. All right, see you guys. Hello, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading that we are going to dive into one of your main soul curriculums that you chose for this lifetime. And kind of where are you right now with it? How is that evolving? And then getting some advice for kind of moving through where you are at the moment. Okay, so you guys picked the Howlite and the card under it, which we will get to in just a minute. But first I'm going to roll some astro dice to get some insight into an area of life and some energies around it that this soul lesson has to do with. Okay, so 5th house, Gemini, and Jupiter. Very interesting. So this soul lesson that's being brought up that you chose to work through in this lifetime has something to do with leadership, personal creativity, being in the spotlight, and something about that having to do with how you communicate and express yourself through words or writing, or your ability to kind of be a connector. And through that, like, really being able to create expansions in life. These could be like what you're expressing and communicating, and your creativity could have to do with sort of like philosophies, belief about life, things foreign in nature, or things in the publishing or PR realm as well. But kind of big picture stuff, really, pushing. It's a lot of very exciting energy here, really being able to push your boundaries, really being able to step into the leadership, really knowing how to connect or use language or connections with others to do things. So yeah, it's a very kind of vibrant energy for sure that you're here to kind of learn a lot about. Okay, let's see some information through this card and a couple other oracle cards about what's going on right now around this. The Weaver, that is so spot on with like Gemini energy, is like this ability to kind of take threads from all these different places, weave them together, connect things to make a tapestry, to really create something special and beautiful. So I feel like right now you're coming into a really beautiful spot of like being able to take a lot of talents in this area, like a lot of different things you've developed about yourself in relation to, leadership, creativity, expression, and big picture thinking. It's like you've worked on different threads for a long time, and now they're ready, and you're starting to kind of weave these together and really make something a little bit more big picture in nature, rather than kind of this over there and that over there and dabbling here and dabbling there, and it really doesn't ever come together into anything whole. You're now seeing how you can take these threads of things you've really worked on and developed and really weave them into something more specific and more elegant and cohesive. So you're stepping into a really like I would, I feel spirit saying like, wow, good job. You're really in a good spot. You've really done a lot of work here. I'm really proud of you for what you've pulled together here. Okay, let's get a little more context. We've got waxing crescent moon, have faith in your dreams. So if you have, you know, Gemini energy can come with a lot of anxiety and self-doubt. And so if you're feeling some of that, like you know, and Jupiter can sometimes put us in over our head. It likes to take things on really grand and big in nature and really push our boundaries. So between these two things where there's that kind of like anxiety and doubt, and then this thing that like where now I've pushed my boundaries and I'm in over my head, it's like, have faith, even though you maybe can't see exactly how this is going to come together. Attend to the process. Don't think so much about how this is going to turn out, where this is going to end up. Like, just attend to the process. You've gotten in this motion of figuring out how to weave some things. Attend to that process, and it will start to come together, and you will start to get a better picture and view of what is happening here. And you need to just trust that you have what it takes. Find your courage. Fifth house really asks us to find our courage, to show our heart, our creativity. Yeah, things are coming together. So just like trust in that process, attend to the processes. Just keep going is what I feel like here. Like push through the doubt, push through the anxiety, push through feeling like this is too big for you, whatever's going on here, whatever you're kind of weaving at the moment. Attend to the process, and you will suddenly be like, oh, it's all coming into view of what's going, like how this is coming together. And I know exactly now how, like what this pattern is, how to weave it, what to do with it. Yeah. Balance. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. I love that. So there's several, I think I got too many downloads at once. I think there's several ways. And I think because of all this Gemini, all the energy here is like very polymath or multidimensional. And so I'm feeling multidimensional messages here, like whatever you are weaving has some harmony to it, has some beauty to it, elegance to it. But I also think relationships may have something to do with what you're weaving. And I think also like really having an emphasis on knowing how to cultivate and create resonance with people in relationships, and finding fairness and balance with others has something to do with what's going on here, that's developing, that's weaving in your life. Yeah, so just to reiterate, to go through that to make sure I got everything out. You may be weaving something in a very balanced way, or that is very elegant in nature. Some important relationships may need to be balanced in your life right now as you are weaving something. That you know, there may be some support coming through relationships that's helping to balance sort of the efforting and bigness of what you're weaving. And then the context of what you're weaving may have something to do with relationships as well. Whatever resonates, all of those could resonate. One of them could resonate, whatever resonates to you. But there is something here about resonance and others, relationships. Yeah, that's kind of part of this weaving aspect. And it could be a support as you weave. It could be woven in. It could be in the subject matter of what you're weaving. Anyway, moving on from there. Let's pull some tarot cards now that we kind of know where you are on this journey. Some advice through the tarot cards of what you can be doing to kind of push through on this, really get your footing here. Yeah. Four of Cups. Hierophant. Temperance. Beautiful, beautiful. One more. Knight of Crystals. Gorgeous. So, I do feel like Spirit is urging you to channel a little bit more courage, to step a little bit more into the light here. Like there's something you feel like you're still not quite strong or stable enough in yet, but I'm feeling like Spirit advising you that like you've got this. It's time to step towards the light, to as an initial step, maybe reaching out towards some traditional channels around whatever you're weaving. Like I'll give one example. Maybe you have really worked on honing a creative writing skill set, and you have now kind of come into this great idea of a book to write that can weave in different things that you know a lot about already, and skills, you know, using your skills that you've been developing, and now it's time to kind of like do something with all these kind of different parts of your life and weave it into this book idea that's come. And it's time to kind of take some traditional channels with that, like reach out to I don't know if this is like directly submitting for like an agent or to publishers in this metaphor. It might be like reaching out to someone who you know would have some good advice in the general area. This feels more like some counseling, like someone who has some advice or mentorship they could impart. It's time for you to step out from that cave of like working on and protecting what you're doing and start to kind of, reach out to others that might have advice for you of like where to start, what to do with this, routes you can take, just any advice they might have. And I think you're going to find that there's, the advice that they have and what you're able to show them, like there's like this beautiful alignment where they're like, oh my gosh, look at that, wow, look at what you've done or what you're doing, this is really great, wow. And you're kind of like taken aback because you've felt really insecure about this, and like it's, you know, I'm in over my head, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm insecure, I'm anxious, I'm doubtful. And all of a sudden this kind of mentor type person or someone who can give you advice is like, whoa, who are you? What are you doing? Oh my gosh, I have the connections you need. And it's like I think that like suddenly like doors just open to you, and you don't necessarily have to like, and I know this is a metaphor, it's, so however you want to relate this metaphor, but it's like just by reaching out and taking that step here of showing something about what you feel like you might be weaving, what this relates to around personal creativity and expressiveness, whatever that one thing is you can think of to reach out to for some advice, I think they're going to kick some doors open for you, because they're going to be like, I know exactly, like timing, content, whatever, like everything's aligned for something. They're like, oh, I know exactly where to take this, what you should do. And it opens the path, then like opens the door for you to do your thing and really recognize what skill and talent and ability you're able to pull together in really dynamic ways, and just creates a new sense of value in you, and a new sense of really wanting to take care of and hone and steward and nourish and nurture whatever it is that this is to you, whatever you feel like you're weaving suddenly. Yeah, there's like a story that came through here, and it's just like, trust it, do that one thing to reach out, and it's like amazing things are going to follow. Doors are going to open to you, and you are going to like drop into such a much deeper confidence and care of this weaving craft thing that's happening. Okay, yeah, I mean, so I would say right now that you're in a really good place. You're doing really good things with this soul lesson that you chose as part of your life path. And Spirit is just saying, like, now you need to find some courage and some strength to kind of put it out there. Whatever this is to you, it's time to take an initial step to show something about this. Yeah, so that's like the only thing where Spirit's like, okay, you've got this, and now it's time to put it out. You need to really, find the courage to put your heart out there. Okay, we're going to end with a goddess message to leave you with, and I love that I just pulled Freya for you that says bold. Be bold. I mean, it's exactly what I was just saying. Like, it's time to find your courage. It's time to be bold. It says unleash your adventurous side, take risks, and be daring. So whatever feels bold and daring to you about starting to show something you feel like you're starting to kind of like weave or bring together about your multi-talented, multi-dimensional self, it's time to show it. It's time to step up, and once you do and you let this be seen, this is how you're going to feel. You're going to be very, very powerful in this. So good for you guys. You've done a lot of great work, but it's time to put it out there is the thing. Okay, this is where I'm going to leave you guys. If this resonated, I always appreciate the things like share, subscribe, and always grateful for kind and thoughtful comments. And I hope you have a beautiful day wherever and whenever you are. All right, see you guys. Hello, Pile 4. Welcome to your reading all about one of the sort of curriculum that your soul chose to come down and work through and learn through, and seeing where you are with that right now and some advice about going forward. Okay, so you guys picked this beautiful orange Chalcedony and the card underneath, but before we get to those, I'm going to roll some astro dice to get sort of the area of life and energies around what this soul lesson, soul mission is about. Whew. So we've got 8th house, Saturn, and Virgo. So there's some pretty intense energies here. This is a big mission, you guys. So you're here to learn a lot about empowerment, resources, intimacy, things around wealth, death, around death, wealth, and debt. shared resources, and what are your hidden resources that can empower you. So a lot about generally kind of like empowerment in life. And there's something where you are building a lot of sort of mastery, focus, aspiration in that, and needing to find sort of rhythms and systems and an ability to be very analytical and systemized in that kind of stuff. So maybe involved in like, to me, this feels sort of like a career in like finance research or research of some sort, in terms of, you know, like psychological research, chemistry research, finance research. I don't know, interesting, but like kind of has a career bent to it, or at least in like a mastery and expertise in this. It's a pretty seriously toned mission that you chose. I do believe we have, several things we come down to learn, but this is like one of the top ones that you're here to kind of delve into. Okay, so we're gonna do some oracle cards to kind of see right now, how are you evolving through this? What's going on currently around this soul mission? Beautiful. Get curious. And this card has, I don't know if it's supposed to be a hawk or an eagle, but one of those big birds of prey. I'm sort of reading this in terms of like, in relating it to get curious. All these lines to me sort of feel like neural pathways. And then this bird up high kind of looking down at the big picture. So to me, this feels like mastering right now, or really entrenched in finding that balance of being down in the details of things and being able to step back and look at the big picture of things, and being able to kind of do both of them a little bit of, I don't think you can always do two kind of opposing things at the same time, but being able to balance and knowing how to switch between one or the other, because I think there's something that you are trying to level up in here, like take yourself to a new level in here. Like maybe you're in school, or you've taken on a new project in relation to something like this. Or there's just like something new that's come in to pique your curiosity, and you're going down some rabbit holes. Yeah, and the thing here is like, what is sticking out to me is some advice of like, don't get too entrenched in the details. You need to come up from air and look at the big picture every once in a while. I do feel this bird popping out as something to really note, of like, with this Virgo energy, it can get really easy to get down into the minutia of things and the intricacies of things, and make things sometimes even too complicated. And this is saying like, you need to take the time to step back and look at the big picture and kind of refine and weed out. This feels crowded to me. If these were like neural pathways, it's like too crowded. It's like you need to refine some pathways for more elegance and more specific mastery. So I feel like right now, though, that like you're in this mode of just pollinating and figuring out what this is. There's something I think you're curious about right now, and you're just trying to figure out where that leads, what specifically what specifically is connecting for you. Okay, so I'm refining as I go along. This is where you have been. You have been in this curiosity of really like something new has sparked your interest, something new has like piqued your curiosity. And you've gone down the rabbit hole, connecting all these dots, pulling information from everywhere, really absorbing a lot. And now it's saying like you've absorbed what you need to absorb, and now it's time to rise above all of this information you've gathered so you can sort and refine and eliminate and process some of this. So that's where we're at. You've been curious about something, but it's time to like you've taken the input needs to be done. You need to step back and start refining this and really kind of weeding some of the things out and getting a little bit more polished about where you're going with this curiosity. Okay, let's get a little more information on this. Show the world the real you, full moon in Aquarius. This is definitely like a science-y moon, and full moons to me are when we're at, if you were to map it onto the hero's journey, it's the point of no return. And it's when things are coming into sort of a ripening stage, but there's a lot of stages after that. A lot of people say the full moon is the culmination, and I'm like, no, it's the ripening stage, but there's a lot of stages, you know, that we go through after ripening. And so it is, to me, not the earliest stage, it's like the midpoint, and it's a point of no return. So there is something you're coming to where it's like, okay, I think I'm committing to this. This curiosity is now turning into something more focused. So that's what this is showing. I think that this is showing me where you are, this evolution. You've been in some curiosity, you've done some digging and research and rabbit holes, and now you're coming into like starting to pull back, looking at the bigger picture, and really kind of aligning and committing to something a little bit more focused around this curiosity. And with Aquarius showing up, this could have to do with the sciences. It could have, I mean, looking at the energy over here, it wouldn't shock me if this had to do with the sciences, some kind of scientific research. But it could also be something about trying to relate these energies back in from your astro dice. Could have to do with you know, finance in the nonprofit sector, or in the, you know, something in the tech area. Yeah, research, sciences, tech, nonprofits, something there, and something that you've gone into some deep research in, but it's now time to kind of sort and organize this, get a system around it, and really kind of establish some building blocks here to kind of, bring a focus here, something to climb toward. And that's sort of, I feel like, where you're at right now, like committing to what you know you want to kind of climb toward, what the focus is. And now there's sort of a long climb ahead of you in whatever you're honing in on. And then we've got worry. I am learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. Yes, Virgo energy can be a queen of worrying for sure. And I think that what I would say about that is Virgo can get really intricate and perfectionistic and detail oriented, and I think again this is why this bird of prey is kind of like popping out here, rising above to get the big picture. And I think if you can kind of step back from where you're at right now and all of the details and kind of look more at the big picture, this will kind of help you to hone in on that focus, that thing you're going to start building and focusing on, and limiting all of this intricacy in order to be more specific And that's really going to tame your worry. It's really like pulling back, finding that focus, committing to a really limited direction here instead of being all over is really going to ease that worry. It's really going to help you to feel like you have some specific, like a specific destination, so you can start mapping out a plan to kind of be focused and climb toward that pinnacle thing. Okay, very interesting. Let's pull some tarot cards to get some advice about all of this that's coming through, what Spirit says for you to do in order to kind of like, specifically in order to feel the ability to pull back and feel that ability to find the focus you, I think, need right now. Two of Cups, you need to trust your intuition a little bit here. All of this energy is very rational, logical, reasoned energy. And this is saying that there's something at this moment, if you stay with that kind of sort of more linear type of mental energy around this, it's going to be hard to really hone in on that direct focus that I feel like is needing to be found here, because that direct focus needs to come from somewhere more intuitive. So you need to like check in internally with yourself. What feels right versus what does the information point towards? That's something to really, as you pull back, what feels right versus what is the information saying? And there's probably a balance there, but you need to put what feels right into the equation. The Tower, interesting. Let's get two more out so I have a better idea of what the Tower is talking about. Two of Crystals. Yeah, you're weighing and measuring things right now. 10 of Crystals. Let's see. Just realizing these were a little out of frame. Okay. You need to trust yourself. That Virgo energy here really knows how to systemize things and put them in order once you sort of know what the focus and the goal is. So like identify the focus, identify the goal, and then trust that that Virgo-ness within you, that's part of what this soul lesson is about, will kick in, and it will know exactly how to refine, systemize, organize, make sense of whatever this is about to you, whatever you're kind of moving from a phase of curiosity to a phase of kind of commitment and focus in some way. The Tower, though, what is the Tower here? It feels so out of place to me. I want to pull a card about the Tower, but I kind of want to pull it from an oracle. I'm going to pull it from the Sacred Destiny, and let's see if this can give us insight into the Tower. Gateway. Okay. Yeah, this is something, I think you've recently leveled up. You've recently kind of ended one phase of this sort of empowerment, research, whatever this is, psychological stuff, chemistry stuff, research stuff, finance stuff, whatever it is to you, something about empowerment. You've been through some journey that has closed out, And you're sort of, you're on a new path, but it's still really fresh. And so it's still kind of reorienting a lot of things in your life. And I think this is just saying, like, just stay, like, I think you are flexible about that right now, but it's just giving that advice that, like, new order is coming in. The more you can pull back and hone in on something specific that you're focusing on and reaching towards, like a specific goal here, the more you'll find your orientation and be able to start putting some order into place. Because I think, like, rubble from a past phase is still kind of around. You're still kind of whiplashed in terms of, like, okay, there's this new thing coming in, but, like, where am I going with it? But you're on that cusp right now of, like, moving from that sort of, like, disoriented phase, and but also sort of eager and impulsive, curious phase, to finding that stillness, that direction, that focus. You're right on that cusp. And this is just saying, like, stick with it. This is all just new. There's learning curves. There's still stuff from the past you're clearing out. Even though it's gone, there's still, you know, if you think about, like, a war zone, even when a war is over, there's, like, a lot of rubble you have to clear. And that's kind of that feeling right now. Like, something's come to the end, and it's created a lot of debris. And so even though you're now have new things you're on to and wanting to build and focus on, you're still needing to kind of, like, haul out stuff from the past in order to clear the space, get that calm, get that focus, feel like you're finally moving forward instead of dealing with stuff from the past. So that's what I'm feeling here. Is there's still just, like, clearing. There's still stuff about clearing stuff from the past. Just stay with that process. And there's still stuff about weighing and measuring about exactly what you're focusing on moving forward. And it's just, like, you know, clear what you can as quickly as you can, get rid of past debris, and take a bigger picture of what you're newly focusing on in order to really hone in on something specific here to really build goals and plans and structures toward. But trust yourself here. It's all going to come together. It may feel just, like, really, I feel like you feel like this Tower person, like, everything's just sort of, what's the past, what's the future, what's the debris, what am I building, where am I going? I have this intense curiosity and eagerness about this thing, but I'm just, like, it feels all over the place, and I'm still dealing with the past. That's what I'm feeling. And it's just, like, just trust the process, trust yourself, trust the process. Take some bigger picture views, really find that thing that you can focus on, commit to, so you can start kind of, like, weeding out anything unnecessary. There's, like, too much information now. But the information you need to choose a direction is there, so you just need to kind of elevate, look at it from a higher point of view so you can see what you're needing to actually see, because it's there. You just have to look at it from a higher viewpoint now. Find that direction, and the more you find that direction, the easier it is that clearing from the past happens. And just trust yourself. Whatever you do find as that focus, that Virgo-ness is going to kick right in, and you're really going to create some order and process around, and find your footing, find your way through it, and really create something that's very functional, very robust, very fruitful. Yeah, trust your process here. Okay, last card I'm going to do, we're going to pick a goddess card just as a last sort of advice for you guys, parting advice, message. This doesn't surprise me. Anya, leap of faith. Take a risk. Put your heart's true desire into action. Yeah, I do feel like this curiosity, it's like, it's really new and fresh, and it's opening new paths. And you may be, this may be a procrastination thing. You might be purposely getting yourself lost in the details of things so that you don't have to take that risk and jump into this new thing. Like, you're kind of procrastinating. I think it's coming and you're excited about it, but it is kind of like a leap of faith. And this is just saying it's time to get out of the details. You have the information you need to kind of pick that focus and take that leap. And as you do that, the rebel of the past will dissolve and that focus will come in, and you'll know, exactly what you're going, and that Virgo-ness is going to kick in. That Virgo energy is really going to know how to whip some systems into place here. Really organize things in a very robust, fruitful way. So trust your abilities are strong. So that's what I'm hearing from Spirit, is also just like a good job. You've leveled up. Trust yourself. Keep going. You're doing a really great job with this kind of soul lesson. The only thing it's saying right now that it wants to push you on is finding that courage to take the leap. Okay, this is where I'm going to leave you guys. If this resonated, I always appreciate the things like share, subscribe, and definitely am very grateful when there are kind and thoughtful comments. And I will see you guys in other readings, and have a beautiful day wherever and whenever you are. All right, see you guys.